Welcome to part 18 of chapter 2, and in this section we'll be going over death and dying. Alright, so as part of an EMT, you will be confronted with a patient who has passed away, and they're going to be from anywhere from just being a newborn up to being over 100 years old. That's just part of our job. Now, death for a person's either going to be either unexpected and sudden, as in someone who is on the way home from work and all of a sudden is in a horrible auto accident that was not expected. Or it may be prolonged and expected due to a terminal illness that has been going on for some time. Regardless of how it happens, you will, as an EMT, eventually confront it. And it is a pretty trying situation because you will feel emotional, the family's emotional, and in today's EMS systems, we're not working every arrest. There was a time where we worked almost every cardiac arrest that came out, and unless there was some signs of obvious death that was irreversible, we worked it. Now there's protocols where you show up and you work the cardiac arrest, and when you get there and you have advanced care there like a paramedic, you try 2 to 3 rounds of drugs and therapies, and if there's no response, well, then you call it there in the field and you call the coroner, and the coroner comes out and pronounces them dead, and so on. That makes it even more difficult for us because we have to explain to the family what's going on. And to some family members, it may look like we're not doing enough to save them. But we have to be compassionate. We have to explain to them what's going on and why we're doing what we're doing, and give emphasis that we did everything that we can do to help save that patient. Now, everyone goes through specific stages of grieving after they've had a loss, and you will go through each and every one of these at some point. It's important for you to realize that that patient's family is going through this, but it's also important for you to realize that you may be going through this. And if you are going through this, it is perfectly okay to talk about it, and you should go through each stage so that you can properly go through the whole process and move on and being a more healthy person in the end. So these stages of grieving include denial. The patient will deny that it's happened. They will want you to go in there and keep working. There's no way my family member can be gone. They will have anger and hostility. They may get angry at you. They may yell. It may not be at you. They may yell at someone else or at themselves or whatever. Then there's bargaining, where they'll plead with you, they'll plead with God, they'll plead with whoever to just please let my family member come back. And then they'll go through a stage of depression, and then they'll finally hit acceptance. But it's important that you go through all of it, and it's okay to feel bad. It's not cool to be stone cold and like, oh yeah, it doesn't affect me, when it does affect you. And if you act that way and you do not go through the stages, eventually it will pop up and it will hit you hard, where you become majorly depressed, or you'll have major anger issues, and so on. So death and dying, it is a natural process of life. It's just part of it. When we have a birth, we have death, beginning and endings. What's important is that we really remain professional and we remain compassionate to those that are still here. Once someone has passed, well, then more than likely your patient now shifts from being the patient that was in cardiac arrest to the family members that need your attention. They need your support at this time. And that's why we're there, to offer support and be that pillar of society that's there for them regardless, and we can bring some calmness to the situation. Just remember, if the family is getting upset and they're yelling and screaming, it does no good at this point to argue with them. This is part of the natural process. When it's over with, I guarantee you they will regret it. They will feel bad. And I have been on many scenes where I've been yelled at and screamed at, and I've just remained calm and collective. And the next thing I knew, a few weeks later, I get a card at work from the family, just praising how good I was with them, me and my partner, how good we were, and how much they appreciated what we did. So just stand fast, be professional, and everything will work out on your end. So, and remember one thing too. Please don't say this, because this is one saying that I've seen many negative responses from. Don't say, "I know how you feel," because we really don't know how they feel. Everybody feels differently when stuff happens. Just try to refrain from using that if you can. But you can say stuff like "We're here for you to help you. I'm sorry for your loss. Is there anything I can do? Is there anyone I can call?" And stuff like that. So, well, this concludes this section on death and dying. We'll be getting into chapter 9, or part 19 of chapter 2. And this is going to be focusing on how we deal with patients and the patient's family. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.